Around the world, countless valuable treasures worth millions remain lost, stolen, or hidden. Today, we explore 29 of these hidden wonders. The Florentine Diamond. The yellow 137-carat diamond was likely from India and may have made its way to Europe by the end of the 15th century. How and when it got to Europe is a matter of debate. One story is that Charles the Bold, who was the Duke of Burgundy from 1467 to 1477, had it cut from a larger diamond and was so enamored with the Florentine diamond that he even carried it with him into battle and was supposedly killed with it on him. It's possible that the Florentine diamond was recut and is now a series of smaller diamonds. The Amber Room. The Amber Room was constructed in the Catherine Palace in the 18th century in Tsarskoye Selo near St. Petersburg. The room contained gold-gilded mosaics, mirrors and carvings, along with panels constructed out of about 1,000 pounds of amber. The mosaics haven't been seen since, and it's possible they are now destroyed. Today, the Catherine Palace hosts a recreation of the Amber Room. Menkaura's ancient sarcophagus. The Pyramid of Egyptian Pharaoh. Menkaura is the smallest of the three pyramids constructed at Giza around 4,500 years ago. In the 1830s, English military officer Howard Vyse explored the Giza pyramids, at times using destructive techniques, with his use of explosives being the most notorious, to make his way through the structures. Vyse made a number of discoveries at Giza, including an ornate sarcophagus found in Menkaura's pyramid. Vyse tried to ship the sarcophagus to England in 1838 aboard the merchant ship Beatrice, but the ship sank during its journey and took the ornate sarcophagus down with it. Ark of the Covenant. According to the Hebrew Bible, the Ark of the Covenant was a chest that held tablets engraved with the Ten Commandments. The chest was kept in a temple in Jerusalem in ancient Israel that was said to have been built by King Solomon. This temple, sometimes called the First Temple, was the most sacred site on earth for the Jewish people, but it was destroyed in 587 BC when an army from ancient Babylon, led by King Nebuchadnezzar II, conquered Jerusalem and sacked the city. It's unclear what happened to the Ark of the Covenant, and its location has long been a source of speculation. Honjo Masamune Sword. The Honjo Masamune is a sword that was supposedly created by Goro Nyudo Masamune, who lived from 1264 to 1343 and is considered by many to be the greatest swordmaker in Japanese history. The sword is named after one of its owners, Honjo Shigenaga, who took it as a prize after a 16th century battle. The sword later came into the possession of Tokugawa Ieyasu, who became the first shogun of Japan after winning a series of wars in the 16th century. It's possible that US soldiers destroyed the sword along with other captured Japanese weapons, or they may have brought the sword to America, meaning it could be recovered. The Just Judges Panel. The Just Judges Panel is part of the Ghent altarpiece, a 15th century work of art painted by Hubert and Jan van Eyck in St. Bavo's Cathedral in Ghent, Belgium. The panel shows a number of characters whose identities are uncertain, on horseback. Philip the Good, who was the Duke of Burgundy at the time the altarpiece was created, could likely be one of the characters. The panel was stolen in 1934 and has never been found. Jules Rimet Trophy. The Jules Rimet Trophy was a prize that was awarded to the winning team of the Soccer World Cup tournament. The trophy, named for Jules Rimet, founder of the World Cup, was sculpted by Abel Lafleur and had a depiction of the goddess of victory holding an octagonal vessel above her head, produced in gold with a base of semi-precious stones. In 1983, the cup was stolen in Rio de Janeiro and hasn't been seen since. The thieves may have melted down the cup, which was made largely of gold and weighed about 13 pounds. Peking Man fossils. In 1923, the fossils of a hominid that is sometimes called Peking Man, a form of Homo erectus, who lived between 200,000 and 750,000 years ago, was discovered in a cave near the village of Zhoukudian, close to Beijing, which at that time was called Peking. The fossils disappeared in 1941 during the Japanese invasion of China, and their location today is unknown. Crown Jewels of Ireland. Stolen in 1907 from Dublin Castle, the Crown Jewels of Ireland were not connected with any coronation ceremony and included no crown. Rather, they comprised a jeweled star of the Order of St. Patrick and a diamond brooch and 5 gold collars of that order. The jewels were kept in a library, and lax security was blamed for making the robbery possible. Who stole the jewels and what happened to them remain a mystery. A wide range of people have been suspected of pulling off the heist, including Francis Shackleton, brother of the famous explorer Ernest Shackleton, although nothing was ever proved. King John's treasure. Lost in England's Wash, in 1216, King John's treasure has tempted treasure hunters for centuries. The treasure was lost during a disastrous crossing of the Wash, and included valuable items such as the royal regalia and 55 rings. The treasure was lost when the baggage train, consisting of carts and pack horses, was swallowed by quicksand and whirlpools. Recently, a metal detectorist named Raymond Koschuk claimed to have found the treasure in a field in Lincolnshire, uncovering medieval artifacts that he believes belonged to King John. However, the full extent of the findings is yet to be confirmed. Library of Ivan the Terrible. The Library of Ivan the Terrible, also known as the Golden Library, is a legendary collection of ancient texts and manuscripts believed to have been assembled by Ivan III and expanded by his grandson, Ivan IV. The library mysteriously disappeared after Ivan IV's death in 1584, and its exact location remains unknown. Various theories suggest it might be hidden beneath the Kremlin or in another Russian city. Despite numerous searches by archaeologists, treasure hunters, and historical figures like Peter the Great and Napoleon, the library has never been found. Oh, by the way, the nickname Terrible is a translation of the Russian word Grozny, which actually means formidable or fearsome rather than terrible in the modern sense. Ivan earned this moniker due to his ruthless and often violent methods of consolidating power and expanding the Russian state. Menorah from the Second Temple. The menorah from the Second Temple, crafted of pure gold, was a sacred symbol of divine light and resilience for the Jewish people. Seized by the Romans during the 70 CE siege of Jerusalem and paraded through Rome, the menorah's fate became shrouded in mystery. Rumored to have traveled from Carthage to Constantinople and possibly hidden or destroyed, this artifact has sparked endless theories and treasure hunts. Yet, despite all efforts, the original menorah remains undiscovered, leaving one to wonder if it still exists somewhere waiting to illuminate the world once more. Given its historical and religious significance, the menorah's monetary value is estimated to be in the millions of dollars, making it a highly coveted treasure. Lost Da Vinci Mural. The Lost Da Vinci Mural, the Battle of Anghiari, is one of art history's greatest mysteries. Commissioned in 1502, Leonardo da Vinci began painting this massive fresco to celebrate a Florentine victory over Milanese forces. However, he abandoned the project due to experimental technique failures. When Giorgio Vasari remodeled the Hall of the 500 in Florence's Palazzo Vecchio in the 1550s, he allegedly built a false wall to preserve Leonardo's work. Modern researchers have found tantalizing clues, including pigments matching those used by Leonardo. But the mural remains hidden, leaving us to wonder if it still lies behind that wall, waiting to be rediscovered. America's stolen gold. The mystery of America's stolen gold during the Civil War has captivated treasure hunters and historians for over a century. As the Confederate States crumbled, millions of dollars in gold were hastily hidden to prevent Union forces from seizing it. Legends suggest that the treasure was buried in remote locations across the South, with some claiming it was hidden in caves, swamps, or even transported out of the country. Despite numerous expeditions and even a secretive FBI dig in Pennsylvania in 2018, the gold remains elusive. The question persists: could this lost treasure still be out there, waiting to be discovered and reclaiming its place in history? Menkaur's artifacts. Alongside the sarcophagus, the pharaoh's treasures remain hidden, lost to history. The lost artifacts of Menkaur, the smallest yet most intricately designed of the Giza pyramids, have long intrigued archaeologists and historians. Built during the 4th dynasty, Menkaur's pyramid once housed magnificent treasures, including statues, reliefs, and inscriptions that shed light on ancient Egyptian beliefs and rituals. However, many of these artifacts were lost at sea while being transported to the British Museum in the 19th century. Recently, a joint effort between Egyptian and Japanese archaeologists has begun to study, restore, and document the granite casing stones of the Menkaure pyramid. This ambitious project, spanning 3 years, aims to reassemble the fallen stones and uncover more secrets of Egypt's grand past. Captain Kidd's treasure. Captain Kidd's treasure went missing in 1698 when he ran his ship ashore in Madagascar, and was later arrested and executed for piracy in 1701. Though being one of the most elusive pirate legends, there has recently been a breakthrough. In 2015, a joint US-UK archaeological team discovered a 121-pound bar of silver off the coast of Madagascar, believed to be part of the loot from Captain William Kidd's ship, the Adventure Galley. This find, presented to the President of Madagascar, has sparked renewed interest and hope that more treasure remains hidden in the wreck. The ongoing exploration continues to captivate treasure hunters and historians alike, as they seek to uncover the full extent of Kidd's legendary booty. The Florentine Codex. The Florentine Codex is a 16th-century manuscript detailing the culture and history of the Mexica Aztec people. It went missing from public knowledge for centuries after its completion in 1577. It was sent to Europe and eventually ended up in the Medici family library in Florence, where it remained largely unnoticed until modern times. Recently, the Getty Research Institute launched the Digital Florentine Codex in October 2023, making this invaluable manuscript accessible online with new translations and features. This digital edition provides searchable texts and images, offering unprecedented insight into pre-colonial indigenous knowledge and early colonial Mexico. Isabella Gardner's Stolen Art. The stolen art from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, valued at a staggering $500 million, went missing in the early hours of March 18, 1990. Two thieves, disguised as police officers, deceived the museum's security guards and made off with 13 masterpieces, including works by Vermeer, Rembrandt, and Degas. Despite a $10 million reward and extensive investigations, the art remains lost, and the case unsolved. The empty frames still hang in the museum as a haunting reminder of the greatest art heist in modern history. King Charles I's jewels. King Charles's jewels, a symbol of royal opulence and power, went missing during the English Civil War when the monarchy was overthrown in 1649. These treasures, including crowns, scepters, and rings, were either sold off or hidden to prevent them from falling into the hands of parliamentarians. Despite extensive searches and historical records, many of these jewels have never been recovered. The mystery of their whereabouts continues to intrigue historians and treasure hunters to this day. Romanov-Fabergé eggs. The Romanov-Fabergé eggs, symbols of imperial opulence, went missing after the Russian Revolution of 1917 when the Bolsheviks seized the treasures of the Romanov family. Many of these exquisite eggs were sold off to raise funds for the new regime. However, some have resurfaced over the years, including a remarkable discovery in 2014 when an anonymous American scrap metal dealer found a Fabergé egg clock valued at an estimated $33 million. Despite these finds, several eggs remain lost, and their whereabouts continue to intrigue historians and collectors alike. Statue of Zeus. The statue of Zeus at Olympia, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, was crafted by the master Greek sculptor Phidias around 435 BCE. This magnificent chryselephantine sculpture, made of ivory and gold panels on a wooden framework, stood about 41 feet tall and depicted Zeus seated on an elaborate cedarwood throne. The statue was housed in the Temple of Zeus at Olympia, where it inspired awe and reverence for centuries. However, it disappeared sometime in the 5th or 6th century CE, likely destroyed in a fire at Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, around 475 CE. Despite its loss, the statue of Zeus remains a symbol of ancient Greek artistry and religious devotion. Sappho's lost poems. Sappho, the ancient Greek poet, wrote around 10,000 lines of poetry, but only 650 lines survive today. Her lost poems were likely lost due to the passage of time, the fall of the Library of Alexandria, and the obscurity of her Aeolic Greek dialect. The estimated value of her surviving fragments is immense, both historically and monetarily, as they offer a rare glimpse into ancient Greek lyric poetry. In 2014, 2 new fragments of her work were discovered on a 3rd century AD papyrus in private hands in London, reigniting hope for finding more of her lost poetry. Michelangelo's Mask of a Faun. Michelangelo's Mask of a Faun, also known as the Head of a Faun, is a lost sculpture dating from around 1489. It was his first known work in marble, created when he was just 15 or 16 years old. The sculpture was lost during World War II, believed to have been stolen by either Soviet or Nazi troops and possibly taken to Moscow. Its estimated value is immense, both historically and monetarily, as it represents Michelangelo's early talent and innovation. Recent discussions among scholars suggest that it might still be in Moscow, but its exact whereabouts remain unknown. Hitler's lost art. Adolf Hitler, a dictator responsible for horrific atrocities during World War II, also produced hundreds of paintings in his lifetime. Many of his works were lost, stolen, or seized during and after the war. The Nazis systematically looted art from occupied countries, including Hitler's own works. Nazi party members began looting and hiding artworks in places like the Musée Jeu de Paume in Paris and Nazi headquarters in Munich, as well as in caves and mines in Merkers, Altaussee, and Siegen. Some of his paintings were recovered by the U.S. Army and are still in U.S. government possession. The estimated value of his lost art is significant, both historically and monetarily. Recently, discussions have emerged about the whereabouts of some of his lost pieces, but their exact locations remain unknown. Shakespeare's missing works. William Shakespeare, widely regarded as one of the greatest playwrights of all time, is believed to have written around 40 plays. However, only 37 plays are included in the First Folio, published in 1623, 7 years after his death. This means that several of his works have been lost to time. Some of the known lost plays include Love's Labours I, Cardenio, and The History of Cardenio. These plays are known only through references in other works and historical records. The estimated value of these lost works is immense, both historically and monetarily, as they would offer further insight into Shakespeare's genius. Recently, scholars continue to debate and search for evidence of these lost plays, hoping to uncover more about Shakespeare's oeuvre. Nazi gold at Lake Toplitz. Lake Toplitz, located in the Austrian Alps, is rumored to be the final resting place of Nazi gold. During World War II, the Nazis used the lake as a naval testing site and allegedly dumped billions of dollars worth of stolen gold into its depths. In 1959, investigators recovered 700 million pounds of counterfeit notes from the lake, which were part of a Nazi plan to sabotage the British economy. The lake's depth and hazardous conditions have made it difficult to explore, and several divers have died attempting to find the treasure. Recent discussions continue to speculate about the existence of the gold, but its exact location remains unknown. World's first feature-length film. The world's first feature-length film, The Story of the Kelly Gang, produced in Australia in 1906, was lost for many years due to the lack of preservation practices in the early days of cinema. By the end of World War II, all known prints were thought to have vanished. Until the mid-1970s, only some publicity material and a few photographs remained. Thanks to recent efforts by the National Film and Sound Archive of Australia, NFSA, nearly a quarter of the film was pieced together and restored in 2006. The restored film was premiered in 2007 and entered into UNESCO's Memory of the World Register. George Mallory's lost camera. George Mallory, a renowned mountaineer, disappeared along with his climbing partner Andrew Sandy Irvine during their 1924 attempt to summit Mount Everest. They were last seen approximately 800 feet from the summit. Mallory and Irvine were carrying a vest pocket Kodak camera, which, if found, might contain photos proving they reached the summit nearly 30 years before Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. The camera has never been found, and its loss remains one of the greatest mysteries in mountaineering history. Recent discussions suggest that the camera might still be hidden on Everest, and the search continues. As we unravel the mysteries of these lost treasures, we find ourselves captivated by the delicate dance between history and legend. These artifacts, shrouded in the mists of time, embody humanity's relentless curiosity and drive to uncover the unknown. The quest to discover these treasures continues, for their stories inspire and ignite our imagination. Keep exploring, and we'll see you in the next episode of Disputed Past.